Thank you for being with us this evening via Zoom for our first ever virtual open house. This has been a year of firsts, and we've all adjusted to doing school differently, doing our work differently, and, well, doing everything differently. What is not different this year is our passion and excitement for telling you about Portland High School. I love this part of my job. I want to take this opportunity first to introduce a few people. Our two assistant principals, Kimberly Holmes
Hi, everyone. I look forward to meeting you soon.
and Jade Costello.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're so excited you're here.
And without whom, though, this building would not run. I'd also like to introduce Lance Johnson, our co-curricular administrator.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Portland High School.
And Lance manages all of our athletics and co-curricular clubs. Tonight, I also get to showcase our amazing staff members and our incredible students who are the ones that make us vibrant, keep us humming, and assure that we are an exciting place to learn and grow. Ordinarily, this evening gives you an opportunity to experience our building, walk in the spaces your students will walk in, check out art and science, the gym, the cafeteria, the music room, and the library. Learn about clubs and sports, extended learning opportunities, and student supports. Tonight, you will get to know Portland High School, and we know that the information you get tonight will help you make your decision for next year. We are lucky to live in a city where you have a choice of where to go to high school. We hope after this evening that your choice will be Portland High School. Whether you are a first-time parent or a parent with a second or third high school student, you will find that the experience is going to be a new one. While you may have some familiarity with the building and with staff, every year is a new and different experience. Our teachers are top-notch, and you will meet many of them tonight. They challenge students, they support students, and they care about how students are progressing. As you will hear tonight, we have tailored our programs around ensuring that students are successful when they are here and our academics are rigorous and interesting. We are a diverse school. We have close to 30 different languages spoken here, and our students join us from over 34 birth countries. We celebrate this diversity. It is one of the areas that we value, and diversity really makes us who we are. I hope you leave this evening with a strong feeling of our community, the passion that our teachers have, and the shared leadership in our work. At the heart of PHS is the relationships that we build and the lasting connections that are made with families. I feel very lucky to be in a school that emphasizes relationships and connectedness and a focus on student success. I will now turn over the presentation to Sarah Obari, our 9th grade team leader. She will tell you about our amazing 9th grade team and how your student will experience high school. Sarah?
Thank you, Ms. Jepson. So I'm Sarah Obari. Good evening. First, I want to tell you a little about just what to expect tonight, what the night is going to look like. So we will spend the next 45 minutes in this main Zoom presentation where you'll hear an overview of Portland High with an emphasis on 9th grade. Then you will get to choose from a number of smaller breakout sessions to get more information in the areas that you're interested in. We will be using the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen, but we won't be answering many questions until the end of the presentation. One of the options for breakouts will be to stay here for a question and answer session. We really wish that we could be in person to show you Portland High School and to show you what it's all about. So the next best thing is for us to offer a short video tour that our students have made for you. We hope you enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to Portland High School, home of the Bulldogs. I'm Sheila Jepson. I'm your principal. We're celebrating our 200th anniversary year this year, and we're really excited to have members of the class of 2025 join us as alumni. Today, you're going to meet our assistant principals and our co-curricular director. You're going to meet a number of students and some staff members. We're going to show you around the building some places that we think are pretty nice. Let's go inside.
Welcome to Portland High School. These granite steps hold the dreams of thousands of graduates who have attended PHS over the last 200 years. As you enter our historic building, you arrive in front of the main office where your principals greet you when you arrive.
Alumni Hall showcases some of the achievements of PHS alumni and is used as a multi-purpose community space for students, parents, and teachers to meet. Throughout the building, you will notice a unique fusion of historic features and creative student work.
At PHS, you will learn from innovative teachers and build relationships with peers and staff. You will explore interests, find a place in your community, and graduate prepared.
It all starts with your transition. Your freshman core classes and freshman team leader are centrally located on the second floor in the heart of the building. It is during your 9th grade year that you will form the values which will serve as your foundation for the next 4 years. You spend your freshman year forging relationships with classmates and teachers alike. You develop applicable skills such as public speaking, time management, and effective communication skills, all of which you will continue to hone through the next 4 years as a Bulldog.
In freshman seminar, you'll explore your interests and learn about the myriad of pathways and opportunities available to you. From the freshman home base, you'll branch out to take elective courses and can access personalized support through individual mentorships, Make It Happen tutoring and college preparation, intensive English language learning classes, special education case management, jobs from Maine's graduate internship training, and Bulldog Blog to connect with teachers and advisors.
Over time, you can customize your schedule to reflect your individual interests, talents, and passions. It's okay if you don't have it all figured out. As a large comprehensive high school, you can select and participate in a variety of academic courses and clubs to explore current interests or try out something new. Our hallways and classrooms highlight the diverse course options. The Art Wing offers art club, digital photography, and AP studio space. In the Science Wing, you can solve real-world problems in the Environmental Club or explore interests in engineering and design or anatomy and physiology.
You can explore humanities through courses like film and literature, journalism, criminal justice, and global studies, and can dive into world languages and cultures through courses in Spanish, French, and Latin. Central on the 3rd floor are alternative education classrooms where students in this program can take interdisciplinary classes with support and flexibility, while also being able to access the wider offerings of the PHS community. There are many clubs associated with academic classes and social issues that you can join at any time. You can begin to explore topics in classes and then learn further through clubs like Black Students Union, GSA, Math Team, Women's Rights Club, Civil Rights Club, Key Club, and International Club.
Learning is not limited to the time in the classroom. The library is a hub for reading, studying, and doing innovative projects. It serves as the gathering space for the 9th grade career interviews, the History Day Fair, Poetry Out Loud, and capstone projects. The city is also truly our campus. You can leave every day at lunchtime, take a walk, get some fresh air, and get a sense of the wider community. Learning also happens in the community with author talks at the public library, field trips to the Portland Museum of Art, Merrill Auditorium, Portland Stage, and through volunteering at Preble Street, 75 State Street, and the Boys and Girls Club.
Here at Portland High School, we offer one of the best sports facilities. So you could train at the Hadlock Field, you could train at the Ice Arena, you could train at the Portland Expo where our Red Claws play, or you could train at Fitzy if you want to play soccer. We offer a lot of sports, going from ice hockey to basketball to soccer to indoor hockey to everything. So Portland High School, I feel like Portland High School is a good decision, especially when it comes to sports. You can train with the best of players. You could train with the best athletic trainer. His name is Ryan. And yeah, that's why I chose Portland.
You choose your high school path and depart from Portland High prepared for your future plan to thrive at whether it be work, in the military, in your community, or at college, or any other post-secondary plan.
Your story, your legacy is part of hundreds of years of tradition. It becomes part of our collective Portland High story. This is where your story begins and your journey kickstarts. This is Portland High.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jade Costello. I'm one of the assistant principals at Portland High School, and I am so excited to welcome the class of 2025. My favorite thing about working at Portland High School is that this institution is such a blend of tradition and progression. We love our history, but we welcome change, and we learn from each other and grow every day.
Welcome, class of 2025. My name is Kimberly Holmes, and I am one of the assistant principals here at Portland High School. I've been here for 15 years, and I have to tell you, it's the most amazing place you ever want to be. If you choose Portland High School, then I will follow you for 4 years as your assistant principal. My job will be to help you acclimate to our school, support you, and help you with whatever you need. I really hope you choose Portland High School because you'll feel like you're part of something bigger. Here at Portland High School, we're a family, and I hope to welcome you aboard. See you soon.
Hello, class of 2025. Welcome to Portland High School. My name is Lance Johnson, and I'm the co-curricular and athletic director here at Portland High School. I'm proud to say that I've been working as part of the athletic department and the co-curricular department for 40 years, either as a student, a teacher, a coach, and now as the athletic director. I believe that Portland High is an incredibly special place. My favorite reason for working here at Portland High School, I've been working here for over 30 years, is that it is a welcoming place, an accepting place, and everybody can find a friend here at Portland High School.
So I am so excited to tell you about the Portland Way, building on what you just heard our students say. At Portland High, there's no one path or one journey through Portland High. Our school model encourages students to take ownership of their learning, explore their interests, and to connect their learning inside the classroom to the many opportunities that our high school provides. Though each pathway is different, what we want for our graduates is the same. We want students to build a solid foundation, to build relationships with their peers and the adults, and to be empowered for their next steps. With those goals in mind, it all starts with 9th grade. At Portland High, we have 75-minute classes. Students take up to 8 classes at a time, but they only take 4 of these classes each day. Most classes are year-long. 9th graders take math, science, history, and English, and also a class that's unique to Portland High called Freshman Seminar. This will make up 5 of your 8 classes that you'll take at Portland High. Many students take world language. At Portland High, we offer French, Spanish, and unique at Portland, Latin and American Sign Language. Students choose to complete their physical education or their fine arts requirements. You might take art fundamentals, an introductory course that allows you to take many other art electives, or music like band, or unique to Portland, classes like ukulele. Both music and art are offering breakout sessions later in the evening if you'd like to hear more about them. Students might also take electives like engineering, computer science, first aid, creative writing, but many students will choose to take a study hall. To give you an idea of what this looks like all together, here's a sample schedule for a 9th grader. You can see that the student is taking 8 classes, 4 meet on a blue day, and 4 meet on a white day. Students at Portland High really love this A day, B day schedule because there's always a day in between when your class meets so that you can do your homework or you can meet with a teacher to get help. We know that the transition from middle school to high school is one of the most important and challenging transitions. There's increased responsibility, but also freedom. There's increased academic rigor. So in 2013, we established the Freshman Academy at Portland High, which consists of a course that all 9th graders take called Freshman Seminar, a teaming structure where 4 core teachers share approximately 100 students, built-in collaboration time for teachers and support staff that work with 9th graders. Now, I would like to invite some teachers, parents, and students to talk more with you about Freshman Academy and how it supports students in the transition to high school. And first is Christine Berceris.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm so glad you could join us on this Thursday. So the teaming model at Portland High helps freshmen feel like they're part of a smaller community while enjoying a wide range of opportunities that a bigger high school offers. It's a unique model that has been refined for 9 years. We have weekly scheduled meetings, and we focus on student academic and social emotional development. This allows teachers and support staff to be on the same page and communicate with families efficiently and effectively. We also have collaborative time that is scheduled, which also helps us to reinforce academic concepts, create interdisciplinary opportunities like those between earth science and big history. And it also gives students a really strong feeling of belonging. Teachers have developed a great rapport with each other, and it's based on mutual respect and a love of teaching. We really do enjoy working with each other, and I think this can be felt by most students on the team. We do a lot of learning, but we also have a lot of fun. So next, I would like Sarah Morin to join us.
Hi, my name is Sarah Morin, and I'm a parent. I have a daughter who graduated in 2018, a son who graduated in 2019, and I have a daughter who is currently a junior going to Portland High in our dining room this year, but it's actually working really well. And so the first thing I wanted to say is my kids who are in college were really, really well prepared. They, college is rigorous and they were ready. And so I thank Portland High for that. The other thing, freshman year is amazing at Portland High. And my daughter who went to Portland had incredible teachers. The foundation was there. She's outgoing, and we thought Portland was a great fit for her. And then our son, who was trying to decide where to go to college, he is, high school, he's more of an introvert. And so we were like, oh, maybe he needs a small environment. So we sent him to a small private school for freshman year. And then I compared what my daughter got and what he was getting. And I was like, nope, he's going to Portland High. And so he went to Portland High in sophomore year, and we never looked back, and it was fantastic. So I also want to say my kids, 3 different learning styles. Everyone at Portland could embrace them and teach them, and they bend over backwards to meet the kids where the kids are. Another example of my son, who's an introvert, who would be sitting in the back of the math class, and I'd say to the math teacher, get him to the front. Why can't you put him in the front? He's like, I'm not going to put him in the front if he's not comfortable. He answers the questions, he's paying attention, he can stay in the back. And that was a huge teachable lesson for me, because as a parent, I was like, I want you to draw out something in my kid that he doesn't really want to do. And the teacher was meeting my child where he was at. So I really appreciate that. So all the reasons, there's so many reasons I love Portland High, but mostly it's the teachers, guidance counselors, social workers, administrators, if you have a problem, everyone's there to listen. You can reach out, people will email you back, you can call or help you navigate the system. I feel like they're incredibly passionate about the kids, they're dedicated to the kids, and available, which that's not, a lot of people get the impression that maybe in high school you should stand back, let your kid navigate. And a lot of times the kids can navigate things themselves, but sometimes they might need a parent to help, or they might need to know where within the system to go to ask the questions, and people want to help. I guess if there are any questions, Sarah Obari knows how to get in touch with me. I'd be more than happy to talk to anybody, but Portland is a great place. Oh, one more thing, sports are wonderful at Portland High, and I love sports at Portland High because even if you're not an athlete, you can play sports. I have a daughter who started field hockey sophomore year, and this year she got to be on varsity. So if you're a great athlete, you get to play, but even if you're not an athlete, you get to play. And I think that's also incredibly unique for a big school. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dan Hanley, and I'm a history teacher at Portland High School. But in addition to history, I teach freshman seminar, and that's what I'm going to be talking to you about today. What I really appreciate about freshman seminar is that it provides our students with a common entry point and a common experience as they enter ninth grade. As a history teacher, I know my students will have consistent instruction in a number of skills that they'll use in my classes. Freshman seminar at Portland High School is much more than just an advisory. It's a required year-long course. Our curriculum was designed based on research from Johns Hopkins University, but over a number of years, we've adapted that curriculum to fit our school and to fit our students' needs, most importantly. At the beginning of freshman seminar, we focus on easing the transition to high school by teaching skills like goal setting and how to manage your time more effectively, how to email a teacher. Later on, we move to more study skills like public speaking, note-taking, and memory techniques that students can use in preparing for their midterm exams. Now I'm going to hand it off to Abdallah, who will tell you a little bit more about the second semester of freshman seminar.
Thank you, Mr. Henley. Hello, everybody. My name is Abdallah Batanoni, and I'm a senior here at PHS. I'm going to talk to you a little more about the second semester of the course, more specifically, the career unit. In this unit, we focused on post-high school planning. We use Naviance to explore our skills and interests and match them with careers that we might be good at. Naviance is also the same program that I used to apply to colleges in my senior year. We learned how to build a resume, and each created our own that we then used for a mock job interview with community members who gave us tips on our interview skills. Doing this in seminar freshman year gave me the chance to dip my toes into these topics, so I didn't feel overwhelmed in my junior and senior year. Through this class, you really develop a foundation of lifelong skills, such as organization and time management. Thank you.
I would just like to ask everyone to just take a pause, let the interpreters catch up. And for our speakers, please remember to take a pause between a thought. Watch the interpreters, see when they stop talking, and that may help them keep up. Thank you.
Thanks, Maureen. Next up is Hallie, another student at PHS.
Hi, my name's Hallie Chase, and I'm a junior. I went to Lyman Moore Middle School. When I was a freshman, I learned that in high school, you have a lot more responsibility over your education. You get to choose what type and what level of classes you get to take. You can choose the level that best challenges you. You can also choose classes that best fit your interests. You have the responsibility to put yourself on track that is best for you and your learning style. You also will learn how to take more responsibility for your work and your actions. You learn how to approach teachers for extra help and learn how to send them emails. You also will learn how to approach people about your mental health because high school is a big change. Since high school is very different than middle school, you will have to make a lot of adjustments. However, Your teachers are here to support you through those changes. They have taught me special self-advocacy skills that I have used all through high school and plan to use all throughout my life.
Thanks, Hallie. So our model allows us to best get to know individual students as diverse learners with talents and needs, and to get to know the entire class and be responsive to those needs. Sorry, I lost my place. In recent years, some classes of students have come to us with more stress and anxiety. So we focused on things like mindfulness, stress management, and teaching students to be self-advocates. We know parents and students are especially worried about the transition this year, given how different school has looked during the pandemic. The class of 2025, you will come to us with unique needs and also unique strengths. We will be responsive to those needs as a team and build on your strengths. We don't want you to worry. As students enter grades 10 through 12, they continue to complete graduation requirements, and their schedules really open up every year, allowing them to personalize by taking a variety of electives. If you'd like to hear more about the programming in grades 10 through 12, later you can join the curriculum breakout group. Students also continue to build on the skills we taught in 9th grade. In 10th grade, all students have a job shadow experience. And in grades 11 and 12, students continue to plan for after high school in junior and senior seminar taught by their school counselor. They can further personalize their pathway by completing an internship. I'd like to invite 4 seniors to share with you their journey at Portland High so you can get an idea about the many different opportunities we offer. First is Tegan.
Hello. My name is Tegan Moon, and I am a senior at Portland High School. I would say I'm a pretty rare example for the high school journey since I already came in with a good idea of what I thought I would be doing. I wanted to do music and art, as well as explore many of the other interests I had. It might mean getting creative with your schedule, though, to try to fit in everything that you want to, but it is possible, and your teachers will be pretty supportive of that. Another thing that I was determined to do was theater, and I ended up joining Shakespeare Club and Drama Club right when I knew I could, and was involved with every play that I could be in. And I ended up fostering a love for theater and live performance, as well as doing my visual art and going to art club whenever I could between rehearsals. And I've been able to develop a very interdisciplinary philosophy about art making. And a lot of that has been fostered by the support from my teachers. They helped me refine my ideas and provide spaces and materials for me to work. There's also a variety of classes and opportunities that are provided by Portland High School that helped me too. I took many classes that were seemingly unrelated to visual arts and impacted my practice, such as AP US History, AP Literature, creative writing, and engineering. Another opportunity I had was my internship at Portland Stage in the costume shop. During the internship, I helped sew costumes for professional theatrical productions, and it solidified my love for theater and provided a glimpse into a professional creative environment, and was one of the best experiences of high school, and I would venture to say my life. Another piece of advice I would have to people going to high school is to try to take different classes you wouldn't expect and try new things and challenge yourself before you have to start paying for college credits.
Thanks so much, Tegan. So some students come to Portland High already knowing what they're passionate about, but others don't have that, and that's okay. There'll be many people to push you to try new things. And the next speaker, Ralph, will speak to this.
Hi, my name is Rafael Brisson, and I'm a senior at Portland High School. And today I will be discussing how Portland has given me access to opportunities, what they were, and how those experiences are helping me reach my goals. So, coming into my freshman year at Portland High School, I was immediately bombarded with tons of opportunities that would help me grow as both a student and character as well. The guidance office, teachers, etc., do a really great job of spreading the word through announcements and recommendations for students who they think will best fit certain programs. In my personal experience, due to English not being my first language, I was introduced to Make It Happen, a program which some of you may already know about. For those who do not know what it is, Make It Happen is a program that helps bilingual and non-native English speakers in finding opportunities around their communities to build their civic profile, explore their interests, and overall partake in fun experiences that they will remember for the rest of their lives. I knew coming into high school that my ultimate goal was to graduate and pursue a career in the medical field. I wanted to try new things as well, such as getting to become more comfortable with the outdoors and nature. I participated in 2 programs my freshman year that allowed me to do this. BOLT, which was an outdoor leadership training program which specifically focused in mastering biking and bike maintenance. I also did Ripple Effect in their CELP program, which stood for Cow Island Environmental Leadership. We learned tons of ways to preserve energy and keep our planet more clean. Coming into sophomore year, I wanted to focus more on helping people directly, so I did programs such as Cultivating Community. As I entered my junior year, I focused more on deciding what I really wanted to do, which I knew would be medical. I did Maine Medical Explorers, which helped me in diving and exploring the different careers one has access to in the medical field and the pathway it takes to get there. I was able to get help academically through programs like Let's Get Ready, which helped me prepare for the SATs. Now I'm a senior and I am doing a club and an internship through Planned Parenthood and just wrapped up a 5-week workshop on youth organizing. Coming into high school and now that I am leaving, I can say that I've changed a lot. These programs are helping me better and discover myself, and I have a better sense of the passions I wish to pursue.
Thanks so much, Ralph. I'm going to remind the next 2 speakers to go as slow as possible, not slow as possible, but to slow down and pause, again, for the interpreters. It's hard, even for me. And so our next speaker is Zoe, and she'll share her journey of learning inside and outside the classroom.
Hi, everyone. My name is Zoe Burch, and I am a current senior at Portland High School. A little bit about me and the things I like to participate in within the PHS community are being the secretary of our Women's Rights Club, participating in girls soccer and softball, as well as a few other clubs like Photography Club and Ski Club. One thing of importance to me in regards to the opportunities present at PHS is the internship program our school offers. Upon completion of a job shadow your sophomore year, your junior and senior year can be filled with a part-time internship in really any field you can think of. As an 8th grader looking at my high school options, I thought of internships as things that wouldn't really be available to me until college or post-graduation. Upon visiting PHS, the orientation taught me that our school actually has an abundance of opportunities within the city in dozens of different fields. The internship I've been lucky enough to have been participating in for the last 2 years is in collaboration with the New England Historical Association, where I and 2 other students, with the help of a PHS staff member, have embarked on a journey of creating a way to publish high school historical research that you would do in your history classes through the creation of our own historical journal. Taking a vigorous class like AP US History and having that serve as a link between my own writing and a project like this has been an amazing experience. It's been amazing to take several of my passions and roll them into one cohesive experience through this internship, and none of it would have been possible without the extensive program we have here at Portland High.
Thank you, Zoe. And last, we have Anj, who will share her journey to self-empowerment.
Hello, my name is Anja Shimli, and I'm also a senior at Portland High School. And when I first came here to Portland, I kind of realized I had a lot of struggles with my confidence. And when I got support from my teachers and counselors, I was able to take harder classes like AP US History and History of African American Slavery, which is a USM course. And I was able to realize that I was confident in my, like, academically and also internally. And that helped me realize that I could also not compete, but like be at the same levels as my classmates and those around me. And my confidence helped me realize that I would be able to succeed anywhere I went as long as I was respectful of other people's behavior. I mean, not behavior, but like their beliefs and values, and I would be able to succeed regardless of my environment. And I don't think that would have been possible if I had not been at Portland High School. I think I would have struggled a lot more with that. But thankfully, I had my teachers and counselors around me to help me and support me through all the struggles I went through from freshman year all the way now to junior year in a pandemic. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Anj. So I'll just share my screen. So as you just heard, at Portland High, we offer a number of different pathways, but we have one common goal: for all students to graduate prepared for their next step. Portland High School students' average test scores in reading and math are higher than the district and the state averages. Many of our students choose to take AP or dual enrollment classes, which prepare them to take more rigorous college classes in the future. 95% of our graduates in 2019 applied to college. This number is consistent with our previous years, even though last year many students made different decisions for post-secondary during the pandemic. Relationships are key to everything we do at PHS. Knowing our students and families well enables us to support them as they forge their own pathways. Students will have the same assistant principal, school counselor, and Bulldog Block teacher all 4 years. We have year-long classes where students and teachers build relationships over an entire year. To conclude this part of the evening, 2 students and a parent will share their Portland High story and highlight the importance of relationships in those stories. First up, I'd like to introduce Amanda Cavanto, a senior at Portland High.
Good evening, my name is Amanda Cavanto. I'm a senior at Portland High School. I moved from the Congo to here my freshman year, and I started school in October. I first made my relationship with Miss Holmes, one of the assistant principal, who helped me connect with other teachers, adults, and peers. It was difficult to integrate in a new community and start learning a new culture, but since I built a relationship with so many people with the help of Miss Holmes, it made it so much easier. Since I started school in October, I was behind with my work, but because I had such a great relationship with teachers, they would help me outside of class time to catch up on what I missed. It's so important and easier to talk to someone who you have a relationship with about your struggles. And since I had so many relationships, it was a lot easier for me to approach my teachers and my peers to ask for help when needed. And now I'm a senior going to Bentley playing basketball, and I've made a lot of friends, lifelong friends that I met my freshman year and that I will never forget. I've established great relationships in my life that have helped me through the past 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Oh, you guys are making me so proud to work here. Next up is another one of our beloved parents, Regina.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Once again, let me just, let me just say hello to everybody. It is really a very beautiful obligation to be here and to talk about all the wonderful thing Portland High School have done, in my life and the life of my children. Like I say, education never start from the school alone. It started from home, and then you go with it to school. I came to this country with my children. You just don't know what is going to happen. But when they went to Portland High School, so many compliance. But in the end, actually, it is not about what a person is saying, it's what I am going to see by myself. I know that Portland High School has contributed a lot to many children. I am the mother of 6 children and a foster parent of 17 children. And so far, out of the 17 children, I have so far 10 children already graduated and very successful, and everyone graduated from Portland High School of my foster kids. And my children, all of them graduated from Portland High School and also went to colleges. The beautiful thing about Portland High School is the teaching method and the teachers, especially the responsibility they have taken our children into their life, like really their own children. This is how we talk about in my house here. This is their own children. They put their time, they put their effort to really make sure those children come out of the school successful. I will take one of my my daughters, actually one of my sons, my foster child, who came to this house, this literary, like he cannot even raise his head up. But with the help of the teachers, I remember going to Portland to Portland High School so that he can actually graduate. So me, the principal and the assistant principal, Miss White, and the teachers, everybody put the effort, even though no matter what he did, he was not gonna graduate. He don't want even to finish the school, period. Today, he is in college and he's doing so wonderful. And I know that everybody knows Chika, and he was there. And he's doing so wonderful, despite the fact that he's now with his father, but still, according to his father, talking to his sister, he's doing wonderful. He went back to school. He started from Portland High School to Farmington, and now he's in Texas. That is so wonderful to see a child taking such a big step, And my children, I have a difficult one, Judith. But with the effort, the teachers will call me, Miss White, oh, she is not, and then I will run to school and make sure what happened to her and where she. I'll be sitting in front there or at the back to see where she's coming from and what happened until she graduated. Portland High School may not recognize the amount of success they have already, put out there in the world. But to tell you the truth, this is not only called success, this is an achievement, of such an incredible educational, or I don't know even how to put it. I think what runs out of me, because, children are all educated. My last baby is Lydia. She's now in Notre Dame University in Maryland, and she's doing so wonderful. She is in, the other day, she was doing presentation at the United Nations. And just imagine, where is this kid came from Portland High School. Nobody could do such big amount of work if the teachers are not determined. The teachers play a big role in the life of those children. And if anybody needs to have a school right now, and say, where will I take my child? I'll say, take them in Portland High School, because there's no any other school, even though they are in other area, or district. I'll say it is better Portland High School, because you know what? I believe that this school, every child will be successful, because they are not in the in the hands of anybody that you are going to think too much. The way the teachers call you, you know that this person is really a teacher. I like when they call and say, oh, one of the kids did that, like Miss White will text me, oh, Kennedy did not do his work, he didn't finish it. I say, okay, Kennedy, come here right now and let's talk about this one. Or Chidi didn't, because this is the two that are still in Portland there, and they are going, there's another two coming soon. So you see, all this effort, even me myself, I didn't see that I have done much, but the teachers, the principal, I thank all of you so much for putting this effort on those kids. Without you, these kids, I don't know where they are gonna be. Because just look at the amount of other school they drop out and all this. Children in the foster care going to school, becoming successful, and from Portland High School, this is questionable. A person will ask, is this really true? And in addition to that, I even have other students who came just hearing about what is going on. They came and did their interim at Portland High School. They were living in this house. I have about 7 of them, and each one of them very successful, from United States all the way to Korea. We have children came to United States just to explore Portland High School. This is very amazing. If there's anything I could say, I just want to thank each and everybody, from the principal Sheila up there, or even Johnson, who is not even there anymore. I just need to give thanks to every principal. It started from them on the top there to all the way to the janitor in that school, because without them, I don't think this success would have been in place, or even could be this way. But because everybody have put their effort together, they make our life wonderful. We are now a proud family of graduates because of Portland High School. Thank you very much. I love you from the bottom of my heart. Continue the hard work. If there's anything I can do, please ask me, even though to make for you people dinner, I will make it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Regina. I'm going to take you up on the making me offer. So next up, and one final speaker, we have a senior at Portland, Dawn. Take it away.
Hello, everybody. My name is Don Dilamini. Before I start, I would really love to say what Miss Regina said. It's really, really true. There's teachers here in Portland High School really seek success for us kids, and that's really a big thing, because when a teacher seeks for you success, half of your mission is completed, and you just have to pick it up from the rest. So as I started, my name is Don Dilamini. When I started at Portland High School, I was just a quiet guy. I did not talk a lot. I just came into class, sat down, listened, and went out. But in the process, I learned I had to open myself up to people. My peers inspired me a lot, because my peers challenged themselves to be the best. When you're around people who challenge themselves to be the best, you have the mindset that you also want to be as good as them. So you work harder and harder. While you're working harder, you're also evaluating yourself, you're building yourself. My interests are science, math, and I'm also a soccer player. I've been able to take a lot of math classes at PHS, like biology, chemistry, forensic science, and engineering. And I'm taking calculus and statistics this year. All my teachers were really interesting, and they wanted what's best for me. Even if you can't see what's best for you, they can see it. They will always make a way and find a way for what's best for you. The only thing they seek for you is success. One of the major things I love about Portland High School is really the teachers. They really seek for us success. When they seek for you that success, your mission is, half of it is complete. It just depends on you to complete the rest of it. I also loved my soccer coach, Coach Frenzili. He was really a lovely guy. He could sit and speak to you and talk to you when you're in need. Right now, I'm taking an internship a gateway that Miss Lavisky helped me with. We talk to people, we help them when they need food. If they need resources, we also provide them with that. Before I met Miss Lavinsky, I did not see myself doing some of the opportunities she told me about. Something I really think about some things I really thought about, I did not do them. But right now, when I see myself doing what she talks about, I really thank her because she wanted to see what's best for me. Portland High School is the best, and I can say that with proud that, Portland High School is really the best. If you want to find yourself, come here. I found myself here. Back then, when I started, I was just doing anything anyhow. But right now, I'm able to respect others. I'm able to talk to people and socialize. I now can proudly stand and say that I am a gentleman. I did not know I could do things I can do right now. Portland High School helped me to become the person I am today. That's why I thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. We're so proud of you. I hope this gave you a sense of our school culture at Portland High School. I really look forward to working with you next year. And now I will hand it over to Ms. Holmes.
Welcome back, everyone. The next part of our event will be for families to choose their adventure. You can find the link in our chat or in the email already sent to you yesterday. Simply click on the link to the website homepage. Scroll down until you see breakout rooms. These breakout rooms or sessions will run every 15 minutes, allowing you to check out 4 different options. This link you are on now will remain open till 8 p.m. for the question and answer session of our night. For those families who require interpretation support, please stay here with us and we will gladly answer any questions you may have. If you choose to visit the breakout sessions, know that there will not be any interpretation services available except for the ELL session. Thank you and enjoy your adventure.
So we're just going to give people some time to find their way to those sessions, but you're welcome to hang here. Also, if you want to stay for the first session of question and answers, and you can use the Q&A feature that you find at the bottom of your screen to type in questions that you would like to ask us. And we will read those questions out loud and answer them out loud here in this session so they can also be interpreted. So I'd encourage you to join one of the other sessions or start letting us know what your questions are. And we're also bringing some more people up into this panel to help us answer those questions. So just give us a few minutes to transition.
Virginia, I see your question and the link to the website is in the chat. And you will find the links to all the breakout rooms at that website. And Emily, I see that you have the same question. So again, if you have the chat feature, the link is right there. It's a bit.ly /PIC-PHS. And all of our breakout room links are there. Regina, you're welcome to stay with us at the Q&A, but if you need to leave, you can sign out. Thank you. And I am seeing a lot of academic questions in the Q&A. We'll start answering those soon. But again, there's a link in that website that dives deeper into academic offerings. So if you go to the website, you could choose that breakout room. I'll post the website one more time in the chat. So Ms. Holmes and Ms. Obari, let me know when you'd like to start hearing some of the questions.
I think we can get started, Jade. I think that sounds good.
Okay, there's a few math related questions. One is about whether AMP1 is comparable to Algebra 2.
I don't mind taking that. What we do here at Portland for the AMP program is we try to combine 3 courses into 2 years. So the AMP1 will kind of be a continuation of Algebra 1, and we get into a lot of Algebra 2 concepts. And myself and the other AMP1 teacher, we work closely along the AMP2 teacher, that wherever we leave off with our Algebra 2 concepts, they pick right up next year and they get it, they finish up Algebra 2, they do some pre-calc, they do some trig, and they spend some time on the geometry that they need. So I don't think it's as simple as, is it a 1-to-1, but it's, if you had to make that comparison, it'd be pretty close. I hope that answers your question.
Chris, I'm wondering if we can hang with you. There's also, could someone take pre-calc as a freshman if they've already completed Alg 1, 2, and geometry?
Normally, real quick, there's some sort of assessment to place out of those classes. And if they prove to us that they have completed that material, then absolutely. We have freshmen who've taken pre-calc before and will continue to do so. So we just need to make sure that they're at the appropriate place. And yes, that's a possibility.
And we do have that almost every year. We have a few kids that, because of the accelerated math programs across the district, we have kids come in and take those classes.
Evie's looking to hear a little bit about the theater program. David, I'm wondering if you want to speak about that.
So theater at Portland High School takes several forms. We have some theater classes. The 2 that we're offering right now are drama workshop and musical theater workshop. Musical theater workshop is the one where we start at the beginning of the semester, and at the end of the semester, we put on a Broadway musical performance, and everybody who's in the class participates. And then there's an after-school theater program, the Drama Club. The Drama Club has 2 parts, the regular Drama Club and the Shakespeare Club. The Shakespeare Club generally produces 1 Shakespeare play a year, and the Drama Club does 1 full-length play a year and at least one act a year, as well as other activities related to theater. I hope that answers your question.
And there's a couple questions here about American Sign Language, whether we offer it and whether it would count as a language or like an extra. I think this person is asking whether it might be an elective.
Yeah, I'll just jump in unless, I'll just jump in. So we do offer American Sign Language. Just to talk about that quickly, we also have the Baxter School for the Deaf that's for high school in our building. So teachers also from that program teach those classes. And typically for American Sign Language, it's based on whether the college would accept it as a world language, and many do not, and that's not our choice, but it always at Portland High does count as an elective, and you do have to take a certain number of electives. So often school counselors will encourage you to take French, Spanish, or Latin in addition to the American Sign Language, but we do have students that just take American Sign Language as well.
And then there's a question, I'm wondering if Ms. Jepson might want to speak to it. Are we going to do a hybrid model for 9th grade next year? How are we going to go if it is in person? I'm not sure about the second half of the question, but.
We don't know at this point. I think what we'll follow the guidance of what happens between now and the fall. And we will proceed with making sure we have the best program for students, but we just don't know. Things happen and change so quickly, and we adjust as it changes. So we hope that we will be in person next year, and we'll continue to watch it as things change. Sorry that that's not really there's not much more I can say about that.
Can I add one thing? And that's just, I hope you heard tonight that one of the best parts of Freshman Academy and our model is that we work so closely together. It's something that is unique to Portland High School in my mind, having worked across the country and at many other schools in Maine. And when you work together like that, when you have something challenging like this pandemic and different things thrown at you like hybrid, or having to close for certain times, the fact that we have this built-in structure to collaborate and a team leader and that we all work together really has allowed us to get through this. And having that structure is just such a blessing. So no matter what next year holds, we have a way to make it the best we can for your children. And it's important that we do.
There's another math question popping up asking about half-year math classes. So a few folks might be able to nuance that in normal times and COVID times.
Yeah, it really depends year to year. So in years past, we've offered half-year courses as electives, but it really depends on enrollment. The more students we get, the more electives that we're able to offer. So we have offered them in years past. Obviously, this year being what it is, I don't believe we currently are, but it varies from year to year.
And I'm not sure that this is part of it, but I will add this, that even though our math classes are year long, there are opportunities for students to take more than one math class in a year. It only happens at certain places. So you heard that the AMP program is an accelerated program that allows you to take more classes condensed within a shorter time. And in an honors program, you can also do that. So there's years where you can take geometry and algebra 2 together and double up. So just because we don't have a schedule where you take one class in the beginning and one class at the end, there are other ways and other opportunities to fit more math into your schedule and to take more. So I'm not sure if the question had something to do with that, but I just want to make sure I get that out there.
There's another question asking if we offer college prep courses. Any teachers want to jump in?
No, I was speaking a lot, so I voluntold another freshman teacher. Be brave, unmute.
Burden is here too.
I can answer. So for, excuse me, for all of the core classes, pretty much there's a college prep level and an honors level. So for all of the freshman year core classes, you can pick between the two. Some students take all honors, a lot of students take one or two in a subject they're interested in, and there are also some electives that are college prep classes.
And then May has asked, can you take more than one world language at a time, specifically as a freshman?
Want me to take that one?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm Peter Bermani. I'm one of the Latin teachers here, and I want to give a shout out to the Spanish interpreter, who is also a wonderful Spanish teacher here as well. So shout out Elizabeth. I don't know how that works if you're interpreting as well, but yes, students do take more than one language at a time if they choose. I would say every year you get about a half dozen, maybe more, that do choose that. I think that the World Language Department, excuse me, in general, kind of works together in a way that is a very manageable task if that's something that your student wishes to choose. Excuse me, sorry about that.
I'm just seeing in the chat, there's a note that there's some people with hands raised. So I'm just going to remind people in this session, the easiest way for us to interact with you, because this is a webinar, is for you to hit the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen and type your question and ask your question that way. Thanks.
And just going to do a time check too, Sarah. So if people want to go to another session, we have a few minutes left. We'll stay here. The session's going to run the whole evening, but if you want to go to another session, you can do that as well.
Yeah.
So there's a question from Mimi about connecting with somebody because her student has been taking Mandarin and would like to continue it. That's not a language that we do offer at Portland High, so they would probably want to connect with the counseling office about trying to find some creative way to do that, I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, and if they already are taking and have some level, there are opportunities around locally. We also, and I don't know that this is one of them, but just to make a plug for certain classes, we do work together with Casco Bay and Deering. And so some of the classes that are unique to certain schools that students want to access, sometimes we have what's called a common block. So sometimes we also share students across the district, and then there's other creative ways to take those classes as well.
Are there prereqs for world language when you come from middle school?
So not necessarily. We do offer level 1 for all 3 languages and ASL. So there's no prerequisites. However, if your student did take French or Spanish in middle school, they are placed based on where they feel most comfortable. So usually that's at either like an intermediate level or a 2, and then depending on how they feel in the first week or so, they'll make that change to wherever they feel most comfortable.
Yeah, and I'll add one thing to how the process works from middle school to high school, and that is middle school to high school is the only level we still continue to do teacher recommendations. And part of it is to just gather some information from middle school teachers coming in, because they know students really well too. So they give us their best guess and they make some recommendations. And then ultimately families, whether it be Spanish or math or English, families have the opportunities to work with us to also help determine what level. And then beyond that, students are choosing those levels themselves. So middle school teachers are still helpful in that process for us.
So there's one question, and then maybe we should allow people to transition to another session if they want to. And that final one is, how are homerooms, or I guess in our world, bulldog blocks made? Is there a way to request a certain person to be with you in your homeroom?
So part of my role as freshman academy leader is to help with that transition from middle school to high school. And we go to the middle schools, we talk to social workers and school counselors and teachers to find out what are the unique needs of the students coming to us. And then we build those bulldog blocks. We make sure that they represent the diversity of our school and the diversity of our learners. But we also take into consideration some information from those people, those adults, teachers and school counselors and social workers, if there are some unique needs. So it's not a planning where you pick your best friend and you get to be with your best friend, unfortunately, but we know that there are students that have unique needs, and we do make sure and we listen to those needs when we're making those decisions.
I'll read the next question. If a student has attended accelerated math in 7th and 8th grade, would that usually place them in 9th grade honors math?
It depends. Because we have 3 middle schools coming at us, the accelerated programs do vary at the middle school level. So if there is a student who thinks they've covered content that is in the AMP1 program, they can place out of it. If they feel like they've completed Algebra 1 at a high level and they're ready to move on, that's what the AMP1 program is for. And those who feel like they need kind of a refresher of algebra, we still offer algebra. So it depends on the middle school. If you have further questions or want to get into specifics, please feel free to email me and I can give you a more specific answer.
And I'll add one more thing about placement, and that is there's the just looking at each content individually, but then also what we really pay attention to is the schedule in its entirety. So if you come in and you take all honors classes in AMP and you fill your schedule tight, sometimes that's too much. And so you heard Ms. Bean talk about sometimes students will take a couple of college prep classes and a couple of honors classes, or they'll take one college prep honors and then this AMP program. So we look, content to content. Are they ready for this class? And what's their recommendation? What does the family think? But we also want to look at their whole entire schedule and what that will mean for students. Do they have enough time? What are their other responsibilities? What else are they going to do? Are they in sports? So we really look at that whole package when we're thinking about, and when I'm talking to you about building your student schedule.
Mr. Romani, this next one is for you. I've taken 2 years of Latin in middle school. Do I test into a class?
Not gonna lie, I'm super excited about all these language questions. Yeah, I would say first things first, just swing by either my classroom or Mr. King's classroom. He's also in this chat right now, and we'll kind of talk about what books you've used in the past, and we'll make a decision based off that and where you feel comfortable. But yeah, absolutely would love to have you.
Mr. Smart, they're looking for you to share your email. Is that? We'll type it to you, Mimi.
I just sent it.
Beat me to it. Thank you.
And anyone who's here, I'm going to repost the website where you can jump in to another mini breakout session in case you want to check out any of those more specific rooms. And that's in the chat feature.
And can anyone put me back in my room?
I think that was Kadar.
Yeah, I was kicked out.
Maureen hopefully can help.
I don't see her there.
I don't either. Oh, yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. Or Nanette.
Nanette's still the host. She's the only one that can do it.
I just put you back in, Kadar. Kadar?
So Ms. Obari, the Q&A feature is cleared. I'm wondering if there's anyone who wants to share any general information about their role.
Yep, I was wondering if somebody wanted to talk about open campus, which is usually a question that we get asked. So I'm looking at who's here. Anyone want to talk about what that's like for students? Kirsten, will you be brave and unmute? Is that possible? I'm putting you on the spot. We just talk a little bit about what open campus like from your perspective as a teacher and what you hear students say.
Well, that's so funny that you're asking me, because I have to confess I was at Deering High School for 16 years, and this is my second year at Portland High. And honestly, I just love the open campus and being right downtown and having so many opportunities and resources within a block of Portland High School. And this being my second year with freshmen, their excitement level at their freedom to be downtown and to roam and explore is pretty infectious. So I think it's a huge asset. It's a great learning opportunity for students to be in an urban setting and to be out and about and in it alone, having the ability to really explore their city. And I think it's a huge draw for their social, emotional, just well-being and excitement about being in the building. It's a great plus.
Miss Maya, I see you want to add.
I just wanted to add a little bit from the teacher's perspective. I always have that class that meets right after lunch, and the kids make it back on time. I don't know how they are able to leave Portland High and go get their food and eat and come back, but they're always on time. And so I know as a parent, I bet you were wondering, do they come back? Do they get lost? But they really do a great job of managing their time and making it to class.
To piggyback on that, I think it teaches them, independence as well and responsibility. And yes, freshmen can go off campus as well.
Something else I wondered about, if there aren't any questions, Dan, I'm not sure how much big history is being talked about in the other session. I think it was focused mostly on 10 through 12, but we haven't really talked about it here. Do you want to share a little bit about our unique history course?
Yeah, absolutely. So our 9th grade history class is called Big History, which is a world history class, but we go even beyond the formation of Earth, and we start all the way back in the Big Bang. So it's a thematic class that looks at some of the major turning points in the history of the universe, which is 13.8 billion years. I really love this class because it gives kids a really strong foundation in understanding the narrative of and the story of where we came from. And it also teaches kids a lot of historical thinking skills, writing skills, reading skills that they can then apply in studying history anywhere, whether it's history of the United States or any country or region. So it's a pretty powerful class, and our freshmen have really enjoyed being able to explore some big questions in the class, like where we came from and how was the earth created and how did the first people start farming. So it's an exciting class, and it's a little different than traditional history, but it really sets our freshmen up nicely for studying US history next year and their sophomore year.
Thanks, Dan. And just as a parent, I want to share that my child is a 10th grader at Portland High. So he took big history last year, and he was not a strong writer. And so he really learned a ton from the big history class, which really heavily focuses on writing as well with those skills. Which pairs really nicely with our English curriculum, which just focuses on a different part of language. And I already told them I'm putting them on the spot next. So where big history focuses heavily on writing, our 9th grade curriculum in English is, I'm going to throw it to one of you.
Thank you, Ms. Obari. Big piece that we work on in 9th grade English is really focusing on close reading and building reading stamina. Many students come in maybe not having read a class novel before. And if they have, maybe reading it on a basic comprehension level. In the English department, we begin students with the study of the elements of literature. Starting right from the first week in September, we'll work through a short story unit, and then we'll gradually progress into full-length class novels, and eventually into drama and Shakespeare. So 9th grade English really focuses on the reading side of things, as well as basic application of English grammar and building vocabulary.
Thank you. I think those two courses really complement them each other in our 9th grade curriculum. I know Olivia Bean is with us, and I'm wondering, could you tell us a little bit about what students study in science?
Yeah, so the ninth grade curriculum really comes together really well. In earth science, we follow a similar timeline as big history. So we're usually in the same-ish place at the same time. So kids are often getting the same information in different ways, which makes it a lot easier to learn. Sometimes they're like, I just learned about this, but really they're learning about it from a different perspective. But we do in freshman year a big unit on astronomy, geology, chemistry, weather and climate, intro to science. So just like labs, designing experiments, sort of the basic things. And we try to do a lot of inquiry and a lot of hands-on activities, and especially with the pandemic this year, a lot of simulations so that if you can't touch it, you can at least see how something works.
Thanks so much. I was hesitant to unpause because I thought you might hear my child running down the hallway. I know there's a question in the chat about elaborating on freshman seminar. And I just want to mention that I think Dan already said, but many of our teachers here teach freshman seminar, including our math teachers this year, which has been really exciting. So I'm wondering who can be put on the spot to just elaborate a little bit more on freshman seminar. Oh, Kirsten and Michael too. Anybody want to take that one?
I can speak about seminar again.
Sure.
So our curriculum starts with a high school orientation unit, which is really about when we're in person, getting kids introduced to the building and all of the people and support staff around the school who can help them. And we focus a lot on self-advocacy skills. So one of our big early lessons is about how to email a teacher and email etiquette. At the end of that unit, we have kids set goals for themselves. So we focus a lot on how to set good specific goals and how to track those goals throughout the year. And that kind of guides kids and allows us to personalize the curriculum a little bit to make sure that we're supporting our students in their goals. The next unit is about study skills, and that takes place mostly in the second quarter. So it's right before kids are going to take their first round of midterms, and we focus on things like memory principles and time management. We also do public speaking during that time. So students get some experience in kind of a stressful situation. We force them to go outside of their comfort zone, but we think that really helps them to be prepared for their classes and to do the same thing, whether they're in an English class or a history class. Then in the second semester, we have a career unit, which traditionally culminates in a mock job interview where people from the community come over and students have to practice talking about themselves and conducting a kind of a professional interview. One part of that unit is kids make a resume, which is something that is, we've heard from former students, alums, that it's something they really appreciate and sticks with them for a while, that college students, even people after Portland High School, after they've gone on from college, they're still using, even though they've added a lot to it, they're still using that basic resume that they formatted in their freshman seminar. So we think that's a really important and enduring skill. And then we have our final unit on post-secondary options. So students do some exploration about colleges, military, gap year things. Not that they need to make any decisions in their freshman year, but it's just a good point to get kids to start thinking about what's after high school.
Thanks, Dan. Jade, I think that was a comment in the.
Yeah, just getting props on some of the focuses of freshman seminar from the parents, so.
We also, just adding to seminar, depending on the kids and their needs that year, we add or subtract certain things. So my first year here, we had a unit on mindfulness because we had a lot of kids who were really worked up. Last year, we tried to do a little bit of a focus on community building and getting students to know each other. So there's room for what specific groups of kids will need.
I would just like to add too that this is my second year teaching freshman seminar, and I always say to my students that this is the class where we teach you how to be awesome humans in high school, just all the skills that are the foundations for all your other classes, and this is where we teach you how to get in the door to all the opportunities. And I now, as last year's freshmen or sophomores, I can't remember who was in my Bulldog block and who was in my freshman seminar, because both just created such amazing relationships in different ways and with, you know, as different programs and supports. And a lot of relationships and growing happened through freshman seminar that I've found super impressive.
Thank you, Kirsten.
I was wondering if any of the co-teachers or Michael Kennedy want to speak to kind of that approach, Sarah, and how that works at Portland High School. Mr. Kennedy, are you here?
Yep, I have a small child that's screaming, so I might have to mute in a second here. Just having a tough time going to bed. I too, like Kirsten McWilliams, was at Deering for 16 years, and I worked with the freshman team for about 6 or 7 years there, and I came over here to Portland just this past year. And there is an inclusionary model for some of the major core subject areas in pre-algebra, algebra, English, and I believe we're going to probably move on to some of the other subject areas. And what an inclusionary model is we put the special education teacher in the classroom with the teachers. So that special education teacher is advising the teacher for accommodations, modifications, giving suggestions for improving performance for students for participation in the class, and also assisting with development of curriculum. I'm also the technology coordinator at Portland High School. And so when I'm in these classes, I give some advice about using different technologies throughout the school year, from everything from instructional models to developing curriculum. And my child's about to video bomb us any second here.
Thank you, Michael.
I can talk quickly about the ELL model and how that works in a co-teaching and consultancy way. The ELL teachers are all paired in a department and at a grade level, so that offers some sort of cross-contamination and a lot of connecting that happens, you know, as a department and a grade level. We are each assigned a caseload of students to work with, and that usually aligns with the grade level so that we can attend the grade level team meetings to discuss, again, students and their progress, social emotional health. And we have a consultancy model where we, like Mike Kennedy said, we're in the classroom, often co-teaching, consulting, going in and out, and spending a concerted amount of time with one teacher working towards common goals around language and content being taught simultaneously. We have department meetings and go through students of concerns, and so we work closely together as a department, and then we go out through the grade levels and the different departments.
We've shared a lot about ninth grade, and I'm wondering if the freshman teachers are used to me doing this, but I'm wondering if any of our upper grade teachers would like to be voluntold or volunteered to share. I'm thinking either just something you teach. Yes, Apollo, I see your hand raised. Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what happens after ninth grade.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. If I'd like to add to what Olivia said, after ninth grade, a student will be exposed to different levels of science classes. They'll have biology in 10 grades, they'll have chemistry 11 grades, and they will have a number of elective classes, like forensic science, like aquatic biology, like field ecology. There's a lot of classes they will have as electives, and all those classes will be centered around the science practices, including like asking questions, developing and using models, planning and carrying out investigations, engaging in arguments. So there are many of them, and all those classes will come together to help students build that scientific person once they graduate. And from 9th grade to 12th grades, the curriculum will help to form and encourage those best science practices. So it's a good curriculum, and there's a lot of AP classes that will help students prepare for colleges. Like we have AP biology, we have AP physics. There's also AP chemistry coming up soon. So there's a lot to experience at PHS when it comes to science. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Apollo. I know there's some English teachers from upper grades and history and math. Anybody else want to share a little bit about what after 9th grade looks like in case people didn't go to those 10th grade sessions?
I'm happy to talk about English. So I'm Terry Myatt. I teach juniors, and at Portland High School, after the freshman year, students have the 10th grade English curriculum, and I think in the other breakout session they went over all the books and that sort of thing. In junior year, the offerings expand a little bit. So we have the college prep English class, honors English class, but students can also take AP language and composition, and that AP offering is also extended into the senior year. Students would have the chance to choose college prep English, honors English, or AP literature and composition. So that's how the offerings expand in English. We also have many electives that students enjoy, and literature and film, started by my colleague Jane Wellahan, is a very popular offering. And students also like to take journalism, public speaking, drama, musical theater, creative writing, and your other English teachers are here, so I hope I'm not forgetting anything. We also offer SAT preparation class as well in the English department. And please jump in if I've forgotten anything.
I think one thing I'd like to talk about is an English teacher, Jane Wellahan, I also teach juniors, is I think over the last few years, Portland High has really looked at what we teach, what books we teach, and really diversified that content a tremendous amount. We've got writers from all over the world. I know senior year, some of the stuff they're teaching is really brand new, representing female authors, Native authors. My students this year in honors and in CP have read Just Mercy, which is by Brian Stevenson. It's been on the bestseller list for the last 5 years. So they're not just reading, grandpa's English list. And I mean, I think it's great to be versed in the classics. I'm a little bit of a heretic that way, I think, at Portland High. And I'm like, trying to modernize it and diversify. And the kids surprised me the other day by really making connections to what's going on right now and what we're reading about from very different eras. So we definitely we're working on that as a school.
Thanks. Eileen, were you going to share some about math? You unmuted, now you go.
Sorry to jump in like that. I could just speak a little bit about the continuation of the AMP program that starts in 9th grade. So in AMP 1, they're covering Algebra 1 and, reviewing Algebra 1 and covering Algebra 2 at a really high conceptual level. And then in AMP 2, we have a honors geometry course that is based on Euclidean proofs. And then we also cover pre-calculus. It's a year-long course, and every year it's really been a successful program. Students that complete it are prepared for AP Calculus AB. And some students come in, most students come in right after 9th grade, but there are students that come in after 10th grade. They've taken, if they've taken honors Algebra 1 and honors Algebra 2 and geometry, not geometry, but honors Algebra 1 and 2, they could take AMP and be prepared. And if students complete it by the end of their 10th year, they can take AP Calculus AB, which is first semester college calculus as an 11th grader in high school. And then in 12th grade, they can take AP Calculus BC. So you can really get a ton of math at Portland High School. And students will even double up their senior year and take statistics, whether they take AP Stats or Honor Stats. And we even have students that, I know the question came up earlier about students jumping into AMP2 as 9th graders. And that has happened many times, and they get to 12th grade and they take courses at USM in math. So we really have a very, very strong math program. And I just want to put in a plug for the math team. I'm the coach of the math team. We have more kids in our math team than any of the other high schools. It's really wonderful. We have kids from 9th grade to 12th grade, all helping each other with math. And I would just say that math is a huge, strong program here at Portland High School. And it just, this high level AMP program keeps growing. So it's really nice.
Thanks, Eileen. I'm wondering, Troy, not to put you on the spot, but I think you're our only upper history teacher I see in the screen. Would you share a little bit what's offered in history, especially the exciting electives?
Sure. So Dan talked about Big History, which is the freshman year curriculum. And then starting sophomore year is early US history. But we also have AP history, which is divided into 2 years, sophomore and junior year, so parts 1 and 2. So students would either be in college prep or honors early US history as sophomores, and then go on to take modern US history in the junior year in CP or honors, or again, they're going to be in the AP track for those 2 years. And then we also have quite a range of electives. And I'm going to forget almost probably all of them. So if you could remind me, Sarah, of some of them I'm forgetting. But we have sociology, psychology, AP psychology. So that's the other AP elective that we offer through the social studies department. And I can't remember the latest name for it, but I believe it's case studies in criminal justice. And we have some dual enrollment courses also that Mr. Glider teaches. So even though we don't have in our curriculum a defined course for the senior year, that typically is the year where students really take a great number of these electives.
Thanks. I think a few that were popular that I think you forgot, there are so many, you're right. It's where a lot of kids take a lot of electives is in the social studies department. I'm thinking of some that Miss Reagan teaches, like world religions, and there's another one I'm missing
Global
it.
Studies.
Global studies, thank you. I'm like, there's two, she teaches them opposite. Those are pretty popular as well.
Current events.
Current events, yeah.
And government, world government.
Government. There's numerous history electives to choose from. Do we have any other questions? I'd encourage, I know we still have people watching. There's the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen, and we'd welcome you to just click on that. And you don't have to raise your hand and speak up. You just have to type a question in there if you have a question. Let's see, who haven't we talked to? I think we've talked to everyone. Ms. Costello, I'm trying to think of other things that we would want to share. Ms. Burden, I don't know if she's actually in this session or if she's hosting kind of two. So I don't want to put her on the spot, but I know we might talk a little bit about that program at Portland High if she pops on screen. Anything else, Ms. Costello, that?
I'm thinking, jump in, Ms. Holmes or Ms. Jepson, but I'm wondering, Sarah, about if anyone wants to speak to kind of our EWI process and how student support, how the grade 9 team and student support operates to really wrap around 9th graders around struggles, but also just around successful transitions. Kim, do you want to talk about that? Because you'll be pretty critical in that for this particular group.
Sure. So I don't know if you guys can hear me. So as far as our EWI, we actually do it at all grade levels, but at ninth grade in particular, we start right in, teachers and staff meet every week, and we jump right in talking about kids and their success and their struggles. And if we find that they're having challenges, we start to make a plan right away and try to determine the best way that we can help them find success. Some of the ways that we might do that is teachers might, sort of take that student on and check in with that student on a regular basis. Or sometimes we have intensive study halls where we might put a student where we have some of our other staff who have these smaller study hall groups that will allow them to assist students with keeping on track with their work and help them to organize a little bit, and even helping them with the content area. Miss Obari does this as well at times. She likes to wear many hats all of the time and not just run EWI and making sure that we are working as a team to wrap around students, but she will also take students individually and work with them and really work on executive functioning skills sometimes in organization or particularly in math, or try to find a connection with somebody else, or try to find a peer helper that might help. So I think it's really unique to how we do things. And, transitioning from the middle schools to high school is really such a whole different ballgame. And students really start to learn that they have to be able to better manage their time and organize their work, and really figure out how they're going to juggle everything. And that can be really challenging, coming from the middle school to high school. So I think our staff do an amazing job at teaching those skills through freshman seminar, as well as us wrapping around the kids and jumping in. Obviously, guidance is a big part of that. Guidance is also a part of that. Assistant principals and social workers are also a part of that as well. We all work collectively together to do what we can to wrap around students. Because we have a common meeting time every week, that's often a good time when we might bring parents in to have conversations with all of the teachers at once, so it's not splintered. And that really allows us to get that information out quickly and make a plan and help support the parents and give the parents ideas of things that they can do in terms of communicating effectively with staff, and checking in, and things that they can do at home, and checking Infinite Campus and their Google Classrooms, and all kinds of strategies we can use to help find the most success possible for students.
Nice. And there's a question in the chat, 2 questions. I like them both a lot, but one is homework per night as compared to middle school, which Miss Holmes kind of touched on. That's a big transition, but maybe a teacher could try to quantify that a little bit.
I'll start because I teach some math. So I would say for our whole team that homework is a part of all of our classes. And we give it to, build those skills and to have students practice. And especially with our A day, B day schedule, where students have a day in between to see us in Bulldog Block or ask a peer for help. We want them to be practicing those skills in between. So I know as a math teacher, I give some homework almost every night, which can be a pretty big shock to those students. It's why a lot of our students also take a study hall, because having some time at school to do that is also really helpful. But I know pretty consistently across the board, we're all giving homework. For math, it's usually practice. I know for English, it's typically reading. And then if someone else wants to jump in with any other parts of it.
Yeah, I don't mind. Sarah, to back up what you were saying. First off, I think it's going to depend on what your student's taking for classes, because it is going to vary versus college versus honors. And then if they're taking 8 classes versus 6 classes or whatever it might be. And then another thing that we try to do on the freshman team is to encourage their time management. So yes, they may be getting a bunch of homework, but there's also a lot of time embedded within the day to get that work done. And so students who really take advantage of, that time during the day, it's pretty shocking how much less they have to do outside of the classroom. So it really varies from student to student depending on their schedule, but it's pretty much across the board. When a student comes in from middle school, it's very different than middle school.
I just wanted to add that Bulldog Block really helps a lot with that as well. Students will find Bulldog Block teachers that they can work together with their friends. When we were in the building, in my own room, I've got tables in the back, and I would have like the same kids come in every day and they would work together at a table. And the kids get really good at helping each other and managing each other's time, even reminding each other to, hey, have you done this yet? Or, you know, we've got this to do. And having had a student go through Portland Public Schools, it is a huge difference from middle schools to high school. But our freshman teachers, I'm not one of them, but our freshman teachers do an amazing job. I'm really, really thrilled to be a sophomore teacher because the students really get excellent time management skills and just executive functioning skills all around by the time I get them. And you just be amazed how much they grow in that year.
So I'm feeling like there's a question in the chat, Sarah, that may be a really good wrap up as we're hitting on 8 o'clock. And it says, how do teachers work to create a fun environment in classes? So maybe people can like popcorn around and end on a great note.
I'll start.
The most fun teacher. I was going to ask, who's going to start? Because they're going to be the most fun. You want Mr. Smart.
The teachers, for the most part, yes, we've had some, welcome additions and some new people come along, but there's a core of a lot of teachers that have been doing this for a while. And not only do we work closely, we are friends, we have inside jokes and other things that we do. And not just content wise, do we try to, overlap or find common ground, but also with our styles, our senses of humor. I can't really explain it unless you experience it, but it's, we've been doing this for a while and the teachers genuinely have fun with the kids, because if we didn't have fun with them, I don't think I'd be doing this job. I mean, it's got to be fun.
To add on to that, I think all of the teachers have pretty strong personalities. One of the things my kids have loved to do in freshman seminar when we get towards the end, and we talk about post-secondary options, there's like one of those quizzes where it's like, I'm more of a social person or more of a intuitive person, and they try to guess what they think all the teachers are. So there's that fun dynamic of just like teachers as people, but also just like activities in class. Kids love Kahoot and Quizlet, and they're good ways to practice. Some of the activities are like designed to be fun as well as engaging and for students to learn a lot. Like next week, my kids are going to learn about mining, and they're going to mine chocolate chip cookies, and maybe do well, maybe their business will go under. But there's like a wide variety of things on different levels that I think happen to make school fun.
Mr. Maya, any fun happening in your class?
No fun in English. Just to kind of reiterate what Mr. Smart said, and Ms. Bean, the freshman team at Portland High is just full of fantastic teachers who can interact with students. We can kind of be ourselves in class, and I think that makes students comfortable in class, and it leads to some terrific conversations and discussions. I know in my class, I like to try to bring whatever we're reading into relevancy with something that's going on in students' lives. And oftentimes, when you're reading fiction, you're going to run into some kind of ridiculous situations as well that will make students laugh and make them kind of think a little bit. But overall, the biggest thing that I notice is everyone on this team knows how to interact with students and really make them feel valued and make them enjoy what they're learning.
One more thing that Mr. Myatt reminded me of. Because of these relationships and the fun students have freshman year, a lot of them come back and spend a lot of time in their freshman teachers' classrooms. Like I have a lot of kids, if they don't have any work to do in Bulldog Block, they'll try to come in my room. Or there are some kids who'll try to go to Miss Berceris so they can play a prank on Mr. Smart before they go to Bulldog Block. So there's this like relationship that lasts all 4 years with freshman teachers.
They won't leave.
I will say if Miss Holmes or I are looking for a specific individual that needs to have a chat with us and we don't know where they are, we usually call about 6 9th grade teachers first, even if they're not in 9th grade, because we know where the hot spots are.
I don't know if anybody's mentioned transportation, but our students get Metro cards and they can use it to get to and from school or to go anywhere they want.
Yeah, and maybe just highlighting that one more thing. I think you've heard it tonight, but you know, our slogan used to be, and well, not used to be, it still sort of is, and there's a big banner that the city is our campus. And it really is a huge benefit to us. You heard about Open Campus just being a place where students can go off campus for lunch. I know myself as a teacher, I really love the Open Campus. Just for myself as an adult to get outside and walk and get some fresh air in the middle of the day and have lunch and then come back is just so refreshing and so good for learning. But so many of our students take opportunities to walk to all those the businesses around us, either for an internship. As a freshman team, we have done many different field trips where we've walked to Portland Stage, or we've used space at the library for different things. We walked and saw a movie at Nickelodeon one time, The Martian, I think it was, connected to science. So we really use the whole city as our campus, and we see that as a benefit to us. And it's 8 o'clock, so I ended my sentence right at time. So who would like the final word to say thank you for coming and good night? Sheila?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Thank you so much for being part of this. Thank you to the staff. I'll just add that one of the things that I think our staff has is there's a camaraderie among our staff that really and that binds them together and keeps that focus on your students as we usher them in. And then every year as we usher them through high school and then into the real world. So it's quite an amazing place. Hopefully you heard a lot about that tonight, and hopefully we'll be seeing you and meeting you next year. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And the process continues from here at your child's middle school. You'll see Miss Obari and some of our guidance staff and some more students. Your student will see them on January 27th in a very similar webinar, just like this, when they hear about some of the next steps and the particular process. From there, we'll make connections with your middle school, but don't hesitate to contact anyone that you heard tonight, and check out the bit.ly website, and there's a lot of information there as well. So thank you so much, and have a good evening. Staff, thank you so much for being here. Good night.